Check, check. 1 2 1 2. Hello, everybody. We out here, we back. And fuck it. I'm out here covering the H3 Content Cop series because motherfuckers be out here chirping. They be out here replying in comments and stuff. So might as well give them some more, right? I mean, honestly, I've been a fan of like this whole interweb shit for a minute. The whole YouTube, like, the content creators and people like H3, and I'm just like watching from afar. Obviously, I mean, it is like a very small channel, but we're looking to grow, of course. And I mean, fuck it, we're gonna talk about what we'd like to talk about. This is like on the side stream, and yeah, this is pretty entertaining. I mean, fucking people are eating this up. 1.1 million views for this video, and this is Ethan basically covering the content cop that was just made at him. Honestly, the tide is shifting like hella. I don't know what the fuck is up, but yeah, let's just get into it and let's see that they are reacting to the entire,
like, this was us as friends apparently.
iDubbbz Club. Well, yeah, for sure. Let's put it down. I was kind of chewing on this video, but it's very well thought out. Obviously, they did it for 4 hours, 5 hours, and they kind of went at it. So let's see what's up.
You can't stand up to an Israeli, so that's exactly proving what our problem was with you.
Apparently, they secretly hated us.
Yes.
The entire
so
time.
like you're exactly proving what the point was that we were making. That you can't stand up for me because I'm an Israeli.
Israels are never worth defending. And Israel.
Yeah,
anyone who's born in Israel, anyone who's born in Israel against their choice. People don't choose where they're born, right? We all know that. Anyone who's born in Israel is not worth defending on any condition. I don't even know if he knows that's what he's saying, because he's obviously lost like a lot of brain cells.
He took some denim.
That's insane, man. This part of the reply, or whenever they go into their heritage and talking about Israel, of course that's always going to be a very political topic, and to their credit, they really do have their ground. They know their place, and they know what they fight for, what they advocate for, and I respect that. I mean, fuck it, if you're about your people, you're about your people.
Because he's already owned himself in his own video many times.
That's it.
You just let it run the course, and he owns himself 5 minutes later.
There's actually a condition for this. I forget who coined this, but it's snark brained. You start using snark regularly, and you get infected with these people's logic, and like it actually scrambles your brain. And then when you come out to the real world and try to express those thoughts, it's so obvious to be like, dude, what? You're like fucking nuts. That's it. That's what's happening. He's snark brained, which I never thought Ian, my friend, would ever fall down that loop. And by the way, when I say he's snark brained, I'm not kidding. He was already in previously what we've shown before, screenshot.
Honestly, this whole like snark shit is insane. Like the fact that even exists for any creator or just creators in general, it makes sense. It's always been kind of like it's always been people that reply to videos that people make. So it's like, it's kind of interesting where a lot of this shit is like bubbling to a point where it really does bother people. Is like there's whole forums, there's whole like things going on where you can't really control like the conversation, and that's kind of insane, right? It's like, what the fuck? And there's a snark for H3, there's a snark for pretty much like most creators that are large. Hassan Abi for like different streamers, of course. So it's like, what the fuck? It is what it is.
From snark as a reputable source.
And this guy Ethan is like going at him, so I mean, respectfully, fuck it.
Of information.
Yeah. We want to stay out of the drama.
God, I could go on forever. I mean, same guy that says that it's not like the crew should be staying out of it is sourcing snark, who has been bullying the crew for no reason.
Everybody. They make everyone's life hell by definition. And presumably, it seems like he's been browsing.
I would agree with that those types of places online, whether you give them a name or whatever, is like any place that does that shit. I would always say like X does that, like Twitter, it does that for just people, normal people. Like it'll just shit on you for just existing, and that's just like the way, right? So it's fucking crazy.
For a while, so.
Yeah.
That's friend activity right there. Warning, friend activity. Just look at him, man. Just look at him. Do the Fortnite thing. Just take that fucking dumb face in. This man used to be this face used to mean something. Please God. Please God. Give me the grace and the wisdom to never fall this hard. I've fallen in my career. I've fallen. I've gotten back up. I've learned. I've grown. Please, God, don't ever let me fall this hard.
One thing about Ethan I fuck with is his show is entertaining, and this is like the type of show where it's like Friday night, it's after work, it's late, you want to just munch on something and you just put on his show. But honestly, when it comes to like all the drama and shit, it's like, damn, it's a little hard to enjoy your fucking curly fries while you gotta deal with all this shit. But I mean, I guess that's part of like the entertainment, right? And that's kind of where they're at right now.
I'm speaking in tongues. Lord, don't let me land this fall. Maybe he's possessed by a demon, an anti-Semitic demon. That would make more sense than whatever is happening.
That would actually make me feel better. We can treat that.
Possessed. Yeah. He didn't mean it in the end.
Get some garlic in the room.
Oh, that's vampires.
But I wanted to say, like, I'm not here to split hairs on nationality and stuff. Like,
no,
she's
not.
Lebanese. She identifies as that. That's fine, right? But like, he's crediting her as like, well, she's Lebanese, so she has this unique perspective on the world. It's like, excuse me, she lived there. She was born there. I lived there for 5 years. Ela was born there though. She didn't have a choice in the matter. Anissa, has she even been to Lebanon? I don't know. I know she didn't grow up there. So
I mean, that's a fair point. And honestly, when it comes to you start fighting about each other's like family backgrounds and tie that with political shit, of course that's like adding gasoline. That's like adding gasoline to like fucking sulfur, man. That's just insane. It's not a good chemical equation. I'm just gonna say that.
Like, bro, you can't give her authority and then expect us to be like, oh, you guys are idiots. You don't know what you're talking about. It's just not illogical.
But how is that even relevant to her not being able to stand up for me as a friend?
Because you're Israeli and she's Lebanese.
Exactly.
So, you know, the Israelis and Lebanese, they just can't get together.
Thank you.
By the way, shout out to my great 2 employees that I love and cherish, who are Lebanese.
Yes.
That's a fair point, and honestly, it's kind of fucked up when you look at it from like another point of view. Is they're saying it in tongue-in-cheek, like, oh, they can't get along, but technically they're not getting along, which is kind of fucked. It sucks, man.
Yes.
We're not gonna go through like each point because it's a very long video, and I don't want to get copywritten, but we're gonna just skip through. I mean, we can get through the video. Let's get like parts of the H3 take, right? The response to the content cop.
An air of authority or like noteworthiness.
Fair enough.
You know what I
She's
mean?
not an OG YouTuber that has a history with us.
Right.
I've also vouched for Jewish people.
Oh, she said that.
That was Mika. She won me over in that moment. She's not that bad. She vouched for Jewish people.
Hi everyone, it's me again.
I don't even think Ian or Anissa could say that. I mean, I don't even think they could say that.
No.
You know? Funny. You don't agree with us because we're Israeli.
So can I give you back your phone?
Did you see anything interesting or no?
I mean, you could. I'm sure people would be interested. Everybody's always, ooh, you're leaking DMs or whatever.
Is there anything that's like worth sharing?
I think it's funny that you describe that guy as the guy that looks like Milhouse to her while having us in the middle of a serious conversation.
I don't know his name.
That's the thing about Ethan too, is like he's a jokester, man. He's like he knows how to fucking roast somebody for sure.
I genuinely, I don't know his name. What did I say? Give the context.
Where did it go?
I genuinely, I didn't know what his name was. That's how we refer to him. I guess I could say the guy who's giggling with glee at Israeli civilians running in.
You were saying it's a very malicious, hateful, alienating, terrible, everything, etc. But Frogan, Denims, and that dude that looks like Milhouse that lived in Lebanon, they're despicable and they're participants. That was the...
Yeah,
the dude that looks like Milhouse, bro. Hey, yo.
Pretty plainly to my friend.
Yeah, you said you probably saw Milhouse actually.
Honestly, right now, too, like, the public perception is out of control. Me being the public, it's like, you get onto the forums or you get onto... when I say forums, I'm thinking about, like, X or whatever. It's like, it's very skewed. I guess it depends which part of the algorithm you're on. For example, if you go to little Dago clips right here, just reposting some of the past broadcast of the first Content Cop, and you see like the comments wrapping it up. It's like, right, and they're kind of replying to my take, and they're like, "Wake up, Ethan." I mean, that's kind of like on the side of you know, the Ian and iDubbbz, but there's also right here. I mean, yeah, I would be a tiger too if I got the CPS called on me. He's kind of replying to me, saying how they responded to the initial attack from them, but that's where it just gets really messy, right? I mean, they're like it's like two sides right here in the comment section. It's a very small TikTok page already, so it if that says anything, it says nothing. But I'm just saying, you know, it's like it's already polarizing in such a small space.
And you were in them. If you want, I can show you, but the man is evil, and anyone that associates with him, I can't really be friends with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when I saw her in his DMs, I was like, this is
you offered to explain why.
This is getting to be too much, and so I actually reached out to them directly to express myself, like, hey guys, this makes me really uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And then Ian's like, dude, don't you get it? How can you assume all this stuff, but our silence means something? Are you... His brain cells are at war.
Yeah.
He said his brain cells are at war. I know I just said the point about the commenters over here on this side of the channel, the TikTok shit, but let me just show it because I fucking kind of blocked it out. So yeah, they were replying right here, and I'm just showing you, like, even on this very small page, they have a fucking polarizing wake up, Ethan, and then yeah, I would be a tiger too if I got the CPS called on me. They're kind of replying to one of my points. Honestly, like I said, I fuck with this whole, like, I guess the current wave of the internet personalities, right? So it kind of sucks to see people colliding on these topics, but I mean, fuck it, you know, that's what happens sometimes, right? Man, that's how it be on some other shit, right?
He's losing them as we watch. They're fighting. We need our brain cells aligned. They're at war. Anything else?
I don't want to be the judge of that. I thought that line is funny. I'm not going to decide what DMs.
I think it's enough context. It's fine. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, give me that. It's not like we have.
If it's not, let's not, because we have so much to get through.
Yeah. Okay. I'll look through it and see maybe if it's interesting.
We have
so I'll read this last part when he says, I gave this horrible ultimatum to them.
Okay.
Let's see, leading up to that. I linked her a Froggy Tonic post. So this is just an example. He said, I'm quite convinced Hila has a lot of editorial control over Ethan's opinion on Israel, and thus repeats things on the podcast. He said so himself, being nothing before her. He said she translates his Israeli news. We have seen her redirecting her opinions at his opinions of it live on air. Now, what I thought was interesting is that this is verbatim the same things that people accuse her of doing to Ian.
Yeah.
So I thought she would at least be understanding and sympathetic to that. Mm-hmm. To that he's actually literally being like, actually, Hila's a Lady Macbeth and she's manipulating Ethan. Does that sound familiar, Anissa? And I said, I'm sure you can understand being friendly with someone that's going to be a problem for us. Again, my door's always open to you guys as longtime dear friends, I said. She said, no, we aren't friends. I don't talk with him regularly. I don't pay attention to his tweets. I just saw him posting a screenshot I wanted to use for promo and let him know I was yoinking it. I didn't realize he was still on a tirade until I saw a Reddit post on Ian's channel. That's actually...
Damn, this stuff is getting hella messy, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I even fucking...
Take a joke.
Bobby understands. Kay Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because
What the
Clancy,
fuck?
Nazi, by the way, fucking anti-Semite. So he says that my calling Dan KKK Clancy is harassing him. Where did that come from? Zach, do you know?
Dan KKK Clancy.
Whose voice was that?
Damn, that's a fair point. What the fuck? I never even heard that.
I did.
Play it again? Whose voice was that?
Dan KKK Clancy.
That wasn't Keemstar. That wasn't Keemstar. That wasn't Hassan. That would be really weird.
That would be weird.
Dan KKK Clancy.
Considering he's doing the Fortnite dance behind him, like taking this moral, but he can't be the one.
KKK
Yeah,
Clancy.
that doesn't make sense. That's impossible. It can't be.
Hey, yo. What the fuck?
I thought it was weird as
View of Hitler.
He actually caught him on a catch-22 right here. I'm not gonna lie. What the fuck? Where did he pull that one out? I thought it was only H3 that was like referring to the CEO of Twitch as like basically calling him racist and shit like that, but it sounds like Hasanabi was already doing that. Like, I don't know when that was. Who the fuck knows, but he got his ass. I'm not gonna lie. What the
By the way,
fuck?
I'll get into this later, but that's Hassan admitting that he's been to a Diddy party.
Oh shit.
He's been to a Diddy party.
Oh,
after spending
shit.
The last 2 years attacking.
You see, man, this is where it gets messy. I mean, I fuck with both of these fools. Like, I like Leftovers, but obviously that shit is just completely out of here like a missile, bro.
Evil Dan for being Diddy the Diddler because he, I don't know, some random association with Diddy. Bro, you've been to his party.
I just thought they were great reaction.
They are. They're
They
very
are.
useful. Yeah. Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite.
Man.
Completely defensible. You should see
Yeah.
why I said that.
Yeah.
Instead of just showing me saying something with zero context about who I'm talking about or why I'm saying it. Fucking great. Good content, bro. Super good.
You can't expect other people to stop harassing you if you continue to
Okay, we're talking about harassment, or are we talking about your friends propagating CPS coming to my house to take my kids away? Like, we're not gonna play this game, okay? Or me being a dick and
I think like three things could be true at once. That whole CPS situation is fucking abysmal. That should never happen when it comes to like just celebrities and shit, or internet celebrities, and that's fucked up. And man, it's kind of interesting how that's kind of weaved into the whole conversation. But also though, does it give Ethan a pass to be such a fucking like meanie bobini to other creators? I guess he is targeting like Denims or whatever those people are that were participating in that, but it really does beg the question. It's like when they go low, do you go higher or do you keep going lower? It's like, what the fuck? I know you're supposed to strike back, but fuck.
making fun of people is the same as your friend Denims supporting someone named Bad Empanada, showing him on stream when her whole chat is saying call CPS.
I will say though that Bad Empanada is a bad empanada. You know what I'm saying? That dude is a little off the rails. I don't know if you've ever seen like 17 pages or whatever. It's like he really is on some other shit. No disrespect, but that dude does go in on people, and I guess all these creators are very like in their the way that they talk and interact is very aggro. So I mean, it makes sense that they respond aggressively, right?
Let's not play this fucking game. I mean, how pathetic does it get, dude?
Are you gonna talk about like not supporting harassment and start the video with like dancing and flipping us off with all of our current enemies?
That's a really good question.
It just doesn't make sense.
That's a really good question. I think, is this his thing of like, the Leafy thing, like, I'm gonna harass you back?
And another thing too, I agree with that was a direct just fuck you to the H3 show, the whole brand, the content cop, for them to just do the fucking L dance. But not to disarm that, it's just kind of insane the way that Ethan and his podcast talk about other creators is very in a TMZ kind of Paris Hilton way. So is it really, I guess you're replying again like in that manner, so it just perpetuates the same cycle of just that, I don't want to call it toxicity, but it is a bit of a aggressive form of communication for sure.
I don't know. It's not very well explained. I think I'm giving him a lot of grace by even like trying to explain that there's any like thought put into this video.
Harass people. Let's think about it on a micro level. Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this...
Bro, he has a fucking point. Like, I have a clips channel for this broadcast I've been doing recently. I mean, I play video games, I do shit like that on TikTok. I post the clips, and people are polarized already on this very small little corner of the internet. They're arguing right here about like the points and the topics on the H3 show and things like that. Skip that. But it is a bit of like a little battle, if you will.
Family, right? His digital.
Like, I guess it's like one dude just out here. Shout out motherfucker Kobe. He's out here busting my balls, but fuck it, man. I mean, it is what it is.
It's kind of... Okay, what does that have to do with me?
He has a point.
Are you okay? You talking to me? Like a line, what happened today, that should never be crossed.
One thing I will say, Ethan's like the motherfucking Jedi with the lightsaber waving off the attack points that iDubbbz makes, and he's just attacking, going straight for his character. Obviously, iDubbbz is kind of like a reformed edgelord, so it's very easy to attack those types of people when they're trying to make a point in the current and the now, right? When they've had a past. So, I mean, respectfully, it makes sense.
Even by like the most cynical. What am I talking about?
Do you care to explain what's the line that was crossed?
What line was crossed, Ian?
Do you care just for a second to explain?
What line was crossed? Please tell the audience so they can follow. Toxic people. It's going to have ramifications in terms of how I conduct myself. In terms of these fair weather friends who are, you know, so happy to be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ethan.
So again, he's not showing the context. What was the okay, I'll play this part, but did you guys ever find the context of what I was talking about here? Because I feel like I wasn't even talking about him. I could be wrong. I just don't remember ever saying like Ian was friends with me to get something out of it. I feel like he might be taking that out of context. I could be totally wrong, and I'd like to know one way or the other. If I did say that,
I thought you were talking about them. About Anissa and Ian in that clip.
One thing I will say though is it's very interesting how much negativity there is over like this really somewhat silly melodrama, and obviously the issues, the points that are woven into the whole thing are kind of serious. Not kind of, they are serious when it comes to the politics, when it comes to the CPS calls, when it comes to the whole kind of parasocial relationship that these people have. But the way that the fan bases are reacting is full with just melodrama, and it's kind of interesting that it's gotten to this point. I don't think we've really seen this much kind of team picking. Like, there's memes on Twitter where people are like showing a bridge, like, or like a path, like, do you go to this side, do you go to that side? It's like so polarized that what the fuck, you can't even just sit back and watch. I mean, you can if you're gonna be the one commenting, but fuck it, man.
That's the same clip of when CPS was called.
Yeah.
Same clip.
It's part of the same conversation.
And that is a
I don't think it's out of context.
rich thing to say. Like, you're the H3 podcast, okay?
That's right. Keep my name in your mouth, because I know you fucking love it.
A lot of friends of the show. There's even more fair weather friends of the show. Let's not
Oh, yeah. I'd like to welcome you in the halls of greats such as Jimmy Lee. Welcome to the annals of history, my friends. You've now been converted from friend to enemy on h3lore.com. It's happening.
Let's not get into this shit, okay? That is so bizarre and insulting.
Yeah, I am. By the way, I am insulting you because I think you are a disgusting human being and are worthy of being insulted.
Suggest that I was only ever being friends with you to get something out of it.
I don't think that's what I meant, because I don't think that's something I would ever say. I think I must have been talking more like generally just about how... I guess actually, you know what? He did have a lot to get out of it.
One thing I will call out, though, is the fact that Ethan just said that right there is, oh, you are a disgusting human being and you deserve this, what I'm saying about you. And for sure, that's just kind of the way that conversations go on the internet, especially like a personality like Ethan Klein. But just take back what he just said. He said, because you are this disgusting human being, in my eye, in my view, you deserve this. And honestly, when you watch the Content Cop, it is a little bit, it could rub you the wrong way if you are Ethan Klein. But when you really watch it to the end, he kind of wants Ethan just to like, he says he wants to be friends with them again in the future, but right now he had to make that video, or he felt that he needed to make it, and it's kind of fucked up that you're just attacking another human being in this way, and it keeps going back and forth. And obviously Ethan is just he just attacks other people. That's it. That's kind of like what he does, aside from all the other points, the politics, the personal dramas. He likes to attack people, and that's always been a thing since way back in like the H3 production days, right?
No, it wasn't out of context, because he was happy to come on and promote Creator Clash 1 and 2.
And like I just said earlier, that iDubbbz is a reformed edgelord, so it's very easy to kind of just treat him like, oh, he's dirt at the bottom of my shoes. But I mean, if you actually listen to him with an open ear, with the open heart, with the open mind, in some form of just hearing him out, he does have a point in the way that Ethan is behaving, and his rebuttal right here, calling him of like a shitty human being, it just shows that is a part of your character, right? That's a part of whether he's playing a character right here on the show. Are you saying that about other people, right? Are you saying that about just like the workers that you have around? Or like, it just kind of shows you when you have that type of malice, that kind of response to other people. Obviously in this context, he made an entire 1 hour video. Yes, that you could call somebody a bad human being for that, but I guess if you really watch to the end, when he's like crying iDubbbz and all that, and he's talking about like personal relationships, is he a terrible human being, or did he just do it out of care, and he just thought that the Content Cop was an outlet to kind of say, hey Ethan, like, what's up buddy, like what was going on? But Ethan does not give a fuck. He's clearly in a clear mind, right? He doesn't seem like the H3 from 5 years ago. He looks sharp, he's saying his points, and some people might be like, what the fuck are you saying? He looks sharp, he looks in disarray. But I mean, he did an entire 5 hour show. He's standing up for himself, whether you like that or not. He's standing up for himself, and fuck it, man. I mean, if you're not on that side, it's gonna be just turned around and create a narrative out of it. People are creating narratives out of it. They're saying that he's not well, but he seems perfectly well right here. It's just, honestly, what's not well is like the opinions or whatever. Not his opinions, but what people are saying is not well are his opinions, right?
It was basically like an H3 fan meetup in those fucking arenas, and to come on and promote it and do all this, and then I 100%, and by the way, I co-sign it. I'm going back. I remember now. I'm owning it. Yeah, that's what happened. You were happy to come on the podcast and get this tremendous promotion for your event, but when all I wanted for you to do was say the bare minimum of like, hey, you know,
as much as possible.
this is not true, by the way.
And add to anything.
this is fucked up. This is not true about CPS, whatever, like the bare minimum. But remember what he said. Our silence means something. Okay.
No, I'm friendly with you, and I'd say I'm a light friend.
Okay.
Okay.
The whole downplaying of the friendship. Okay.
Because it's been pleasant hanging out with you. I've enjoyed your content over the years, and as of late, it's gotten really fucking shitty.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so fucking obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's called the H3 Podcast. It's always been my emotional dumping ground. What are you talking about? It's my show. I can dump. I take a dump on you. I'll take a dump on anyone. By the way, give the context of why we were angry. You even said burning more people.
Not what podcasts are. There was a way to...
Are you the arbiter of what a podcast is? Sorry, I'm pausing it too much, but this claim is insane.
Today, you're making it so fucking obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are.
He is the fucking keeper of podcasts. I didn't know that. Ian is the decider of what podcasts are. Oh, I defer to your expertise, sir. With 3,000 episodes per 3,000 views per episode, clearly you are in a class of your own, sir. Allow me to talk silly for a minute. Sorry.
Honestly, that's a big point when it comes to the H3 show. They're always gonna have the numbers to back up what the fuck they're saying, and it's easy for them to be like ratio. But I think in the marketplace of ideas, if you will, if you really respect what somebody's saying, if you really respect what they're talking about, then yeah, you could say fuck your numbers, you're a peasant, right, you're a peon. But if they have a point, I mean, when in history did it matter if you had a couple thousand views on your podcast? And that's just not me saving face, but I mean, I think the little guy is always kind of shunned in that way, always in history. But here he has the upper hand. Fuck it, he has the gauntlet, so he's gonna use it, right?
There was a way to approach this to say like, yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something.
You said that in a text message. Do that privately.
Yeah.
You've decided to do the...
It's always easy to squash the little guy, right? But when you look past that, the ad hominems, maybe look at the argument, what the fuck they're saying, then okay, maybe you got a point.
Extra thing and attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking back, but I feel very insulted and I feel defensive and I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you.
What a hero.
Oh, wow.
It's not just about him.
The president of Snark, you guys. Introducing Bidubs.
Snark Dubs.
Snark Dubs.
Is this Snark Dubs? Is that a good one, maybe? Because I feel like Snark is like the biggest embarrassment. It's not that good. Yeah. We'll work on that. Yeah.
And a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
It's so easy to be anti-racist. Everybody's anti-racist. Racism is the worst thing in the world, right? We fucking hate racists. Fuck racists.
Microaggressions.
So I kind of see this part as the crux of the whole thing is very personal, right? Besides like all the other shit, like the politics and the real shit that happened, like the CPS call, this is where I think is where it's really tender, their friendship. And I think this is kind of why they're like at real odds, but they're packaging it with the whole melodrama, right?
The minute that they actually have to stick their neck out for somebody, the minute they have to actually risk something to put themselves in under scrutiny, to sacrifice something personally to stand up for racism, then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I don't want to get involved.
Whether or not you believe this, it is pretty much a beef about these people and their dislike for each other on a personal level, then packaged with the snark, with the politics, with the Palestine, with all of that. But I think when you throw those things to the side and you really look, it's really about Ethan Klein, Ian Idubbbz, Hila, Hassan Piker, Denims, or whatever the fuck, them as people, they do not like each other, and they're using all of their arguments, all of their profiles, their celebrity profiles, to kind of use that as attacks, right?
And that's drama.
How much do you care?
I don't do drama.
This is harassment.
Sorry.
Do you actually care? If you're, isn't that the whole point? Like,
I realize that Ethan.
that's his
Neal-
example of us harassing people.
Them.
Are-
This is us harassing them, apparently.
Okay.
Or
I mean, that was before when I thought he was sane and actually thought calling CPS was a bad thing to do. Now I understand that they don't, so I guess my perspective has changed.
scared now than they've probably ever been. I feel like anti-Semitism is a thought in their heads now.
I love how you trivialize that. It's a thought in their heads. I guess anti-Semitism might be something that they're imagining exists in their heads.
I mean, there's a lot of voices in your head, Ethan.
Certainly.
One of them might be that anti-Semitism
You're
voice.
paranoid, sir. By the way, fuck Israelis. I will never defend an Israeli. As long as I live. Why? Charlie's a defender. Don't play him like that.
Now more than ever, and it's not completely unjustified to be thinking about that sometimes.
Not completely.
You guys are just hurt, and you're kind of like dancing around and making very.
I've said this before,
Oh
but
my
imagine Ian saying this to another minority group who's complaining about racism targeting them.
You don't have to imagine it.
To another minority group?
Yeah.
That's his whole career.
Yeah. That's,
Oh,
yeah.
you're right. He's the
Yeah.
N-word guy.
The N-word, F-word guy.
Oh, that's a good point. He's the N-word guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
he told him to not be offended by it.
Yeah.
He's
Literally doing the same
He's
shit.
doing the same thing. He's the same person. He
course
hasn't
he
changed
is.
at all.
Yeah.
He just switched from black people to Jewish people.
I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate. Like loose, poorly thought out analogies for something that doesn't even apply to us. It's like me making this video is the standing up for something, and
You're
it's
right,
saying,
man.
"Fuck you! You guys are being bad." You know, I don't think you're bad people, but you are being bad.
I think, actually, let me say, I think you're bad people. I think you and Anissa are disgusting, evil, rotten people that have capitalized on a dog pile to add to an insane harassment campaign that's been leveled against me. You guys took the opportunity to jump on top, take an easy dub to try to revitalize your dead fucking career, because you're about to do Creator Clash 3, which is obviously going to be a disaster, and you are preparing for that eventuality, and you're using me as a stepping stone. But guess what? This stepping stone is loose, bitch, and it's like one of those trap stepping stones where you step on it, but it goes in the water and you fall into the swamp. That's
For real, honestly, what he's bringing up right here is kind of what's fucked up about it, how they kind of use each other's past to just disregard whatever they're saying now. And yeah, Content Cop iDubbbz is a reformed edgelord, or maybe he still is, who the fuck knows. But that is something, especially when you get to this type of argument, that is just gonna be used as ammunition and just fucking full blast. Like, oh yeah, you have something to say. Well, honestly, your past just completely disregards that equation. Does not add up, right? So along with the whole H3 podcast, it's like super popular, super just tapped in, right? It's like I remember back in university when I was going to class and shit like that, you see Teddy Fresh and backpacks, merch and shit like that. I mean, I got some. I mean, not that it matters or anything. It's just like, it's a trip how popular H3 is, and respectfully. So they do have that cleaner image, and they could always leverage that against content creators like iDubbbz.
he stepped on. Trapped him.
behaving poorly, you're hurting people.
I mean, go back to the civil rights. You think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything? Those kids who are marching with the black students and...
So in Ethan's analogy, he's the black student and I'm the white student, but I'm the white student that's not, you know, marching by his side.
It's not the best analogy.
Yeah, to be fair, he's right. It does come off pretty silly.
Yeah.
It comes off a little dramatic. I don't think my point was that I'm thinking myself.
And honestly, at least he has some like self-awareness right here we're not covering the entire video, that would take forever, but and also don't want to get copywritten. Also, let's just kind of get to the meat and potatoes, which that was really, I mean, let's just see like where the end goes. I wonder if H3 really covered like the entire video. Honestly, if you were to watch yeah, this part right here, where iDubbbz is crying at the end about just the whole situation, not that that is a bad thing, I'm just saying it's interesting he decided to use that, right, as kind of the ending and a vulnerable spot for sure. And let's see what Ethan does with it.
Relationship, like, you're talking about yourself, you're making it about yourself, you're the hero, you're the victim, you're everything, you are the fucking greatest, bro, you are the purest, the greatest leftist. We all bow down and welcome King Ian to our ranks. He is the infallible King Ian to our ranks, the most pure, the most righteous among us.
Did he say if you come to their defense, that doesn't always help?
And honestly, there's kind of the answer. He used it as, or H3 is using it as an attack towards iDubbbz, that iDubbbz is acting like he's kind of this voice that can just say, hey, you're good, you're bad, and he's kind of the one who's gonna call out Ethan, right? H3. But it kind of shows you how cohesive Ethan's argument is in terms of like what he feels, what he believes, and what he's standing by. Doesn't seem like the narrative of him being mentally unwell is true. Yes, his points are very aggro, but it's like he's kind of just on the defense, and he's a really huge content creator and he's really sharp. I mean, it kind of sucks to say that because a lot of people are saying he's not, but when else are you seeing a creator like this that is going to defend themselves for like 4 hours against one video, right? And other people like citing Colin Bowler or other creators, they end up like caving in, they end up crying on camera, they end up saying an apology, but he hasn't. That doesn't mean he's right or wrong, but it just shows you also like the reaction from the public, what they think about it. They're kind of siding with Ethan as well. And when you look at it, is it because the other side has so many hatred, like Hassan Abi and Denims and that whole like leftist side? I mean, a lot of people are on that side. A lot of people just fuck with those types of content creators, and they fuck with Ethan too. But when it's time to choose a side, it's like, I don't know, they're kind of leaning towards Ethan right now for some weird reason. And they were just swayed by this one video or by the narratives, right? It's not weird, misspoke, but it's just kind of interesting how the fan bases get really heightened, really energized, and they're ready to go for their team. It's fucking insane.
Yes, he did, and in fact, I can see how that applies to Anissa, but like that doesn't apply to us. That's never been a problem. We've always defended each other.
Yeah.
I've never been motivated to not defend her. I don't know what you guys do, okay? But that ain't got nothing to do with me, you dumb fuck. So, I mean, maybe you need therapy, but like, why are you filming it? Did you really just fly out there to do actual therapy?
I know.
Like, bro, just see a therapist.
Do you think he's like super confused? Like, this is not a session.
He's like, dude, he's like, call this number. There's someone in California that can help you.
Damn.
Like, I mean, what? Yes, dude. I can't get over this, how insane this is. I think what he's trying to do is be like, I know that I was on the record saying like how mean-spirited it is and that I would never do anything like this again, yada yada. So what I'm going to do is make the most hollow, fucking pathetic, transparent attempt at being empathetic towards someone that we just spent an hour shitting on, that we started flipping off, that I assembled the ensemble of the people who have been terrorizing and harassing him. Like, fuck you, dude.
And I thought that was cool because I thought it was like easier.
I will say though, from Ethan's perspective, he's saying it's hollow, it's shallow, and a fuck you to him. That's his interpretation, and it is a content cop, that is the format. It's a fuck you to the creator who it's being made for. But I mean, is he just ignoring how, I mean, it is kind of interesting how he used the crying bit at the end, But isn't that kind of trying to show some type of attention to care, attention to having some form of connection to who H3 was? But that's not what H3 is taking it as. He's saying it's hollow. He's saying it's just show, and he's not believing it. Honestly, if that's true, I mean, I was kind of duped then, because I thought it was kind of a way of opening the door, right? Leaving it, not fully closing it, but leaving it just slightly open. But Ethan's like, fuck that. I'm closing it. Fuck you too.
Fighting for free speech.
You know, I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neela. Like, fuck, like.
No, you don't.
It's really
you don't know.
hard.
You're not describing my dynamic. You're describing your dynamic.
Yeah.
To be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense, that doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for
That
them.
doesn't represent us at all.
That has nothing to do with us.
We've always been actually thankful that at least we got each other in our online journey from the beginning. Like, at least we always have each other to like talk about it, and
Listen,
you know.
I don't want to judge their relationship, but that doesn't sound healthy.
I just don't know what you're talking.
Honestly, when they put it that way, it is a reminder that they kind of do have a point, that iDubbbz is just talking from like a really distant, very afar point. He's talking about Ethan and Hila, and he doesn't really know nothing about them, maybe about like their relationship and stuff. So it's kind of an assumption. He can only really talk about his own experiences, his own relationship. So the fact that he's bringing up other people in the therapy session is kind of it is when you got the actual people you're talking about seeing that, it does kind of show that maybe that wasn't the best thing to do, right?
And you're like, apparently it's about us.
He's saying, I
don't
want to
know what
support you,
you're
but
saying.
sometimes when I support you, it makes it worse. That got nothing to do with me. Anyway, here's a clip from Ethan from, I don't know, God knows how long ago.
Kind of slipping into...
Of me? Oh, dude, this is the most pathetic.
And
He
here's,
grabs
like-
this clip of me talking about, I think this is about the Gokanaru era, about when I was like doing all this self-reflection. He grabs a clip from then, and plays it now as if this is what I need to be doing. Like he misses this season that would fucking just, you know, whatever. It's just, it's so manipulative. It's
So-
borderline like this is gaslighting, and this is fucking emotional manipulation. You don't care. You don't care. Why are you pretending to care? You went in front of a therapist and you started talking about yourself and pretending that it's about me? Like, what are you doing, bro? You don't care. Why are you pretending? Don't be a fucking bitch. Just at least say what you think, bro. Stand on your shit. This is the dumbest, worst version of the content cop I could ever imagine. At least the old ones, he would stand on his business. This one is pathetic, dude. I cannot believe what a loser this scumbag is. And a tough guy, by the way. He needs to get punched in the face. You're a tough guy with your tattoos and you've been boxing. It's awesome. I've never been punched in the head. My thoughts are pretty coherent.
And I have been kind of...
Hearing that from H3, from Ethan, kind of coming to defenses from his former self-reflective era, it does kind of, or it does for sure make sense that he is on the defensive. He is in a clearer state of mind. He is a lot more successful now, and not that that matters, but the fact that iDubbbz chose to use a clip from that era where he's being really self-reflective, I didn't notice that was kind of a form of like, it wasn't probably the best option to do, and this is why Ethan is still getting really aggravated, and he's still standing on his own business, and fuck it. That makes sense. That makes sense if you're watching from a fan point of view, just from a parasocial point of view. But once you start throwing in all of like the whole melodramas and stuff, like the politics side and all of the other stuff, that's when it gets messy. But when you strip all that away here at the end of this video, when it's just about the people, yeah, Ethan is defending himself, and he doesn't seem to be mentally ill. I think that's a fucked up thing to put on somebody, and the fact that you're using a former era where he was self-reflective, where he wasn't in his best state, and trying to say that that's him right now, that's also not cool, right?
Slipping into a very unhealthy place where it's gotten worse and worse, and I get criticized more and more, and I get more defensive and more pulled up.
So I guess that makes sense when they're using this old era, this former era where he was self-reflective and he wasn't in his best state, and they're saying, you know what, iDubbbz, fuck you, you were also kind of a shithead, you were an edgelord, you have no say in this, and also it's fuck you. And honestly, when you saw the content cop from right now, the H3 one, it makes sense from the surface level, but when you start peeling back the layers, that's when it does get messy. And I think that it still stands as a good video in terms of trying to do something, but it just completely backfired, and it backfired really in an interesting way that I didn't think. I thought it was gonna sway the other way, because sometimes people who have an opposing view like that, they're able to kind of get their shit off. But here, Ethan came back coherently. Obviously he's sharp, obviously he's doing his thing, and if people are funky with that, if they're just throwing the politics into it, then yeah, they're gonna try to keep perpetuating this like beef. But I think it's fair if he's in a clear, more like business mindset, like fuck it, fuck y'all, I'm doing just fine, H3 podcast is big as fuck, we're squashing on you bugs. Like fuck.
Feeling of almost infallibility, that I could take anything on. It led me to make a lot of mistakes, and then when I was criticized for those mistakes, then I would act extremely defensive and nasty and not really processing them in a healthy way.
Now, that's how he ends it. That's how he ends the fucking video.
10 out of 10.
That's how he ended the video, and I mean, it's basically like it's like abuser shit. Oh, that's like abuser shit.
Did they just start auto playing Walkout Live?
They know. They know. I think.
I hate you.
It's just.
Yeah, and honestly, at the end of this, his whole reply to the content cop, it really boils down to them not liking each other as people, and then they're using their arguments, what's happened with politics, and they're kind of they're going to that ultimatum where they're picking their side. But if you could even do this as a viewer, as a chirper like me, if you could just see that not taking this shit too seriously, not going and spending your entire like Twitter feeds like defending these people, is like, remind yourself that these people are kind of for the goofs, for the gaffes, even though they're talking very serious. I mean, even is a goof and a gaffer at like this YouTube shit. Hassan is kind of like a tongue-in-cheek, like kind of bro podcaster type of character as well, and he does politics. He's very serious, he's very articulate, he is a political science dude. But at the theme of these people is that they're very silly, they're tongue-in-cheek. So if there's any way you could have fun with this shit, try to, because don't take it too seriously. They're just gonna use this as a boost, honestly, and it's already working. I'm just really entertained by this, and I've never really spoke on shit like this, and I feel like being able to call it for what it is like serious, but also these types of people were making fun content, fun reacts and shit like that. Yeah, they react to serious shit, but it's like, I mean, iDubbbz was an edgelord, like a reformed one now, but It's like all these people are somewhat in a silly like content creator sphere. So can you really get your blood boiling for this shit? Yeah, at like the banter, at the aggro conversations, all that snark shit, that's where it does get aggressive. But just when you remember that these are brands, these are creators, these are like the Logan Pauls, the Mr. Beasts of it all, it's like they're really just doing their show, right? This is part of the show. Welcome to the show and enjoy it, right?
It's like abuse. It's like abuser behavior. Like he's gaslighting. He's emotionally manipulating. He's trying to convince me, no, I'm actually your friend. I actually care about you. While simultaneously being like, I don't care. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to support anybody that's even Israeli. I fucking want someone to punch you in the face.
Yeah.
And like just spend an hour basically, I don't even know what to call what he did. So that's it. That's the video. I watched every second of it. Every God-loving second of that shit.
And honestly, that was pretty lengthy, very detailed, very coherent, and it's entertainment, right? But the way he was talking is very serious. So it's like you gotta just take it for what it is, huh? For real. This is me like live processing this shit, damn.
You watch every second of it like 10 times.
So I'd love to see him respond to any of my criticism. I don't know if he's capable of actually taking any of this on. He's going to have to confront some really uncomfortable facts. Although he can just continue to lie. I don't know. He'd have to get really creative, though, to somehow spin this. Well, that's it. Guys, I enjoyed everyone watching. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
Yeah, and the story continues, but really it's just, I think this is going to be something that is going to be a part of their content now. It's just going to be part of the entertainment, part of the show. Recently, Hassan already started watching or reacting to this react, so we're getting like extreme meta levels of reaction videos. So let's see what Hassan was saying.
Ethan Klein accuses iDubbbz of Holocaust denial over his opinion on Sabra Hummus. Jesus Christ.
And distribution facilities are not widespread across the U.S. So
before we get into like the Hassan Abi side of it, obviously he's a sharp political commentator. He is the one at the top right now, besides like Asmongold or whatever, and he's gone super pop. He's like a fucking celebrity now in his own right. So it's interesting to see what Hassan says. He's always gonna be somebody who could fucking go toe to toe with debate lords, right? So he attacks kind of the politics side of Ethan's arguments, which is where it does get messy on his side of it. So it is kind of hard to watch it because he always has a excellent way of being able to break down political arguments, especially if they're coming from the right. So if Ethan is showing himself as a right-leaning creator, then that is all aim, and that is all going to be used against him for sure.
They're left with a common.
He's also doing like once again like almost a form of Holocaust denialism.
Oh, they pre-watched and had a whole script.
It's basically like diaspora apologia, basically saying that hummus is not Jewish food.
Oh.
He says there's no Arab distributors. Of
I don't
course
think that's
bad.
Holocaust denial.
No, but no, I'm correcting myself.
God, dude, he is. I guess there's an audience for anything, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure. I guess there is. There's an audience for people who are like, I really want to hear the stupidest person talk about shit that they have no understanding over, but do it in a way where it's like convincing. Do it in a way where it's confident.
Because I think it's close. When you deny like
my favorite is when he compared himself to fucking Rosa Parks. Does anyone have that clip? That I think was peak from the first day when he was watching the Content Cop, and he was like, iDubbbz not coming to my defense as I've been fucking vomiting out pro-Israel talking points and attacking every pro-Palestinian voice out there. not coming to my defense is basically like you being a white student refusing to defend black students during the civil rights movement. Oh wait, that was in the content cop. Never mind. That wasn't even. You're right. Another banger comparing Sam Cedar to Candace Owens.
Just literally me telling a black person, like, you need to go talk to Candace Owens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she knows.
What?
She knows everything about the race and what it's like to be black.
Sam Cedar is not a Candace Owens, though.
No,
let me
Sam Cedar didn't do anything wrong.
No, of course not.
I'm saying, like,
I get the example you're making, but I just want to make that.
Okay, fair. Good point. Because I'm not saying Sam is like them, but you wouldn't send.
How about Jesse Jackson? Go talk to Jesse Jackson about this.
I don't know anything about his politics, but you'd be like,
whatever.
Go. My point is just because you say that this person is, it's got.
Wait, that he doesn't know who Jesse Jackson is, which is why he doesn't understand. What Dan said is it is a comparative. It is a good analog, which undermines the point that he's trying to make. Yes, if I was a white guy and I had a black friend and I was trying to talk to him about some issue or whatever, and he just would not. He just refused to hear me out. And I was like, hey man, you should talk to our mutual friend who you respect, who has a similar background to yourself. Yeah, who isn't like a fucking reactionary charlatan. Yeah, that would be a totally decent thing to do. I mean, if I was a white guy, I am a white guy, but I meant like if in a situation.
Nothing. It's like me saying, hey, you're trans, go talk to Blair White. She'll tell you everything.
No, that doesn't work. No. Oh my God. No, that does not work at all. Dan is not taking your side.
You to know.
It's not like Ethan is not capable of talking.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to Hassan, his political points are always going to be sharp, and he can really poke holes at what the fuck Ethan is saying, but it's kind of a tough watch, especially when you know that they used to do a show together. They used to rub shoulders, and yeah, Hassan is pretty much putting his political muscles on when it comes to Ethan, and he could really just give him that. The gloves are off for sure now. The gloves are off. The gloves are off when it comes to Hassan.
To Hassan.
Isn't he? Because I've been waiting. Yeah, Ethan literally said I'm not Jewish, and kept saying like, how can you tell a Jewish person how to feel about this? And I'm like, this is not about Judaism. If you can't separate Israel from Judaism, we can't even have this conversation. So if you don't trust me, if you can't hear my position on this, and you don't respect me, Muslim or not, what is this? He didn't come up with that himself, by the way.
And two, you wouldn't counter that by saying, well, you're saying that. So Ethan, you claimed that Hassan is misrepresenting the positions of all Jews. Well, why don't you talk to Candace Owens about what black people think? Or I'm sorry, why don't you talk to Sam Cedar about what Jewish people think? Like, how does that further your argument? Hello?
Bro, he loves SD so much. He really does. He says you still haven't watched the content nuke, so we won't talk to you. When you said you watched it, he didn't believe you. Well, I haven't watched it fully, but I'll watch it with him. He basically says this.
I feel like you gotta be like swiper no swiper with these types of creators. They just be like rapping, like if there's a beat in the background, like they just be firing off their points like a motherfucker. So when it comes to politics, they can have that shit because they got that shit in their back pocket. But like we know Hassan to be a political content streamer, he is gonna poke holes at like the whole arguments that Ethan makes in terms of like the politics side. And if he's like a right-leaning politics creator, which Ethan's not really about politics, but since his positions are starting to show like, oh, he's maybe on the right, Hassan is a super leftist like advocate, so of course he's going to be able to put all of his like political muscle and just completely like try or will kind of disarm like whatever the fuck Ethan is saying on the politics side. But on the personal side, like with the whole like CPS and all that stuff like that is a bit that is on the melodrama and all that real life the personal stuff. So that's why it seems like Hassan is attacking kind of like the politics side of what Ethan is talking about.
Same thing.
Their heads around the idea.
No single
What a
person
dumb.
represents all Jews.
I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret.
He reacts to the compilation of you saying you can't tell him how to feel because he's Jewish here.
You say you can't hear the video you're watching. Oh, fuck. Thanks for the pointing that shit out. Give me a moment. Thank you for pointing that out, but seems like we're good right now. Thank you.
Other Jewish people, you need to talk to my pre-approved list of Jews that like agree with me on everything. You know, it doesn't matter if they're Jewish, dude. It doesn't matter if they're fucking Jewish.
Again, I don't know what he's trying to say. Jewishness is irrelevant to Ethan, which is like
because
a totally
it's leading up to the next thing. It's really dumb. Because then in the next one is like, Jewishness is so relevant.
I think most Jews.
I don't think Jews at large
Here.
view it. I don't think that is the.
In what position are you to even say that?
It's not motivated by myself. It's motivated by
crazy to me.
Jews against anti-Zionist
No,
Jews.
seriously, how can you speak for my entire ethnic group? I find that really interesting.
Ethan, I don't know what.
So
that doesn't mean.
I'm actually addressing the same point twice, and he's too fucking dumb to realize.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone is dumb, not Ethan. Yeah. Why?
That's one thing that Ethan is pretty good at, is like when he's gonna attack another creator, he has like the quips, he has the banter for sure. So when you go toe to toe with Ethan, just be prepared with that. He's gonna be attacking you with a couple of zingers for sure.
Why does he still try to do fucking political stuff, man? It's not good for your mental health. You're clearly oblivious. Like, who is fucking guiding you to do this? Who is gearing you up to be like, yes, King, you're fucking killing it. Everybody thinks you're awesome and very knowledgeable. He goes on to compare it to suggesting you talk to a pro-Israel Arab, or of which there are many, his words, not like anti-Zionist Jews, which are a fringe 1% minority, again, his words, kind of like a self-report there. I've also mentioned this before, like I've addressed this before. Even if 100% of Jews across the board were like, no, Israel represents Judaism, I still wouldn't give a shit. It's just so stupid. It's such a stupid argument. The notion that like a state says we represent religion. It's like ISIS saying fucking they represent Islam. It's the same shit. America doesn't represent Christianity. Israel doesn't represent Judaism. ISIS does not represent Islam. Neither does Saudi Arabia. It's so fucking stupid. The truth is still the truth, regardless of what people feel about it. There's a reason why all of the people that Ethan wants me to talk to on the Arab front are fucking reactionary psychopaths versus someone like Sam Cedar, who he seemingly respects. When I say, hey, you should probably talk to Sam Cedar privately or publicly, it doesn't matter, but like, I want you to have a conversation that might like change your perspective a little bit with a person who has an experience not dissimilar to yours, a person who you respect. That's still with the assumption that deep down inside there is an empathetic person who can recognize that they might have been led astray. That's the problem. He breaks his own brain here, masterful plays.
Thanking me for even putting your dumbass on my fucking podcast when the whole world hated you and I didn't mind sticking my neck out for you. Oh, is that transactional? No, I expect some fucking I expect
Wait, shut up. Did he catch himself in the middle of the fucking describing a transactional relationship?
dumbass on my fucking podcast when the whole world hated you and I didn't mind sticking my neck out for you. Oh, is that transactional? No, I expect some fucking can you not have any expectations for your friends? Like, is that crazy?
Why spend so much time on him at this point? Ethan ain't gonna change. He's a lost cause. He's been charitable for over a year. And if he ain't gonna change himself, it's not on you. Let him rot in the bed he made and move on. I mean, there are gonna be instances where I react to shit that he's saying. One, if it's specifically about doing Hasbara. And two, when he's trying to deplatform leftists. And three, when he is directly lying about me. One of you asked to talk to him privately because his descent into madness is pretty obvious at this point, don't you think? Like, this is a relatively sizable content creator with a previously progressive audience that has turned over into a fucking pro-Israel propaganda monster at this point. It's not his own words that made his audience feel like he was at odds with them.
I think when it comes to like the whole descent into madness, like I fuck with Hassan Abi and all of his like takes and the way he is able to kind of break down other political streamers and things like that. And that's kind of what he's doing with Ethan in terms of his politics. But when it comes to just like the whole content cop and what Ethan's talking about, there wasn't really many politics. Yes, they did involve like the Palestine Israel. That is a very big part of it. But his descent into madness, it really is which way you're looking at it. If you're on his side, on Hasanabi's side, which I don't think he's even picking sides, but it could seem that way. You could feel like he's going into madness if you buy that narrative. But if you just at least even watch like towards the end of his response to the content cop, and he doesn't really seem like he's off the rails like he was like years ago. So this is just kind of the argument that they're leading with, that Ethan is mad or whatever. But I will say that his politics are not on the side of Hasanabi, so that is where maybe he's talking about the madness. So but if you're just writing him off as an entirely mad person, I guess it's fair with the way that he kind of attacks creators. He's obviously attacking Hassan, he's attacking Denims and all those other creators, but that is part of the madness, and it just sucks seeing how it went so fucking down the gutter with these fools.
Ideologically, on the issue of Israel, it's actually someone else that must have geared them to feel this way, and that someone else was his former podcast co-host, which seemingly fits that like previous hate spiral that he went over anyway with his other former podcast co-host. So it's like a perfect situation where he's like, everything wrong in my life is directly because of this one guy. There was another thing, I think like Gila did more Hosborough as well, saying like babies were put in ovens on October 7 or something. Like when people push back on it and go, that's not what happened, he will turn around and sometimes he'll acknowledge like slight mistakes. Yeah, here, this is what I was thinking of exactly.
To kill as many people they can, no matter.
Yeah, when it comes to the politics side, that part could get frustrating for a content creator like Hassan, who really does, that is his whole show, is pretty much 8 hours just doing the news. So when it comes to like misinformation, whenever it's coming to those global political points, it's like, yeah, that is pretty frustrating when the other side is talking about things that may not be true or are just perpetual talking points. But when it comes to like the people themselves, there's very polarizing takes, right? It's kind of just a pigsty right now with throwing around like ad hominems. They don't like each other, and they kind of just put up the whatever politics flag that they have, right? So it kind of sucks that it's gone into that, but this is kind of where it is. It's like, it seems like it's entertainment, but like really in the gutter entertainment, even though it's like pop. It's extremely pop. This is like probably what is popular on YouTube this weekend or this week or at this moment. But if that's how people are having fun with it, with the negativity, then sure. It doesn't seem like it's fun, honestly. It seems like it's actually being it seems like it's just watching like a train wreck or something, but it's just people are eating popcorn, they're commenting, they're picking their sides like in the videos. As you could see, the whole dialogue right here. Yeah, it's definitely a serious convo, but I think a reminder is that these people are kind of from the goofs and gaffs era, right? They're like, that's who Ethan was, but they are talking about serious stuff. Hassan is a serious, not serious, but he is a political streamer. He covers the news. He's well versed in political science. He's very articulate. He has a lot of interviews now with publications, people who are interested in what he has to say. Whether or not they disregard his opinions and his coverage is up to them, but he is a solid creator for sure, no doubt. And it doesn't take a smaller creator like me, a micro one, to really say that. It's kind of just shown with all the numbers, the popularity, and the people who watch him, right?
It is slaughter as many people as they could until they were. Stop.
The mission was explicitly.
In their reaction to the IDO's video, Gila Klein says Hamas flamed cribs with babies in them on fire, as Ethan Klein agrees. This did not happen. 0 babies were burned alive on October 7. Ethan and Gila are such fanatical, deranged, genocidal Zionists that they're still doing the 40 beheaded and burned babies in an oven.
To kill civilians.
Yeah.
You can see their war plan.
Yeah, so that's the type of like politics that they kind of talk about sometimes, is they are very, very aggressive in their communication. So that's just the way they respond. That's the way they talk. And if you're not used to that, that is basically how they talk. Honestly, they talk in those very, very aggressive terms, and respectfully, because it's a real thing that's happening. It's a real it's a real war. Obviously, this is what the president, the whole United States government is tackling with the whole Netanyahu, with the whole Israel, with the whole funding, with the whole Palestine stuff, and it's just a part of the picture. And yeah, people are gonna have extremely tough opinions when you don't align with them, and that's what you gotta respect. I mean, that's where it's at right now.
Which accidentally bombed the entirety of the Gaza Strip.
Those are not military
They
compounds.
flamed cribs with babies in them on fire. So like,
come on, what do we?
That didn't happen. If people like this were so assured of their moral clarity of their political positions, they wouldn't feel the need to make up whole cloth something like the bad guys burned babies alive in their cribs. Yeah, I said, and constantly try to deplatform people who are critical of Israel. Also, you know who fucking lights babies' cribs on fire? Israel. What do you think happens to a baby's crib when Israel brings the entire building down? Explodes an entire fucking building. Like, what are we talking about, dude? You don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck about babies being burned on fire. You just care about defending Israel. That's it. Did you see the button they forgot to delete? Hosmer related?
Healthcare.
Extra footage available on Spotify before Eaton hit the button while watching the content cop reveals Olivia also spoke up, only be silenced alongside AB and Ethan and Gila deny the apartheid in
Gaza.
Israel.
Again, I'm not. Do you think that I'm talking about walking around Gaza? When I say how great multicultural it is,
we
did
never
you think that?
how Israel attacked Gaza since October 7th, not even once. We never
I think that's
co-signed what they did.
No, you guys do consistently defend the intensity of it, or routinely say that Israel doesn't target civilians, things like that. And when they do, they actually do it by mistake, or because it's still Hamas's fault, because Hamas is doing human shields. I mean, it's not particularly complex. Like, it's just it's very basic stuff. It's just constantly making it seem as though it's actually Hamas that is the primary responsible party for the genocide of the Palestinians, and not the fucking belligerent occupying apartheid state that is doing the genocide. That's it. It's ridiculous.
Is that not the point he's making, though?
What?
That you're talking about how nice Israel is, but
Israel proper is different from Gaza.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Millions
right now, say
Muslims in Israel.
I guess that's where the.
Yeah, this is so AB and yeah, they buttoned here, and it, I guess, for Spotify caught more of it or something. Is that what it is? There's also a lot of inequities for the Palestinian citizens of Israel in general, but that's not even what we're talking about. My take on this basically was this is some zone of interest shit, you know? Like, you don't understand. Israel proper is beautiful. My lived experience in Israel. This is what I saw. Yeah, I said, bro, really said my lived experience in Israel proper.
Essentially means the state of Israel is going bye-bye.
So this massive progressive audience that
So is Ian gonna explain that point, or why
No,
you're wrong,
it's
or
no. He says I'm doing Israeli propaganda, and you just shared me sharing an opinion about the phrase "from the river to the sea."
He brought your tweet up and called to move the danger zone. The danger zone? Dog, you're doing Nazi propaganda for a Nazi state. That is not the danger zone. Get out of your own fucking head, okay? Oh no. What are you gonna do? Cry more? What are you gonna do? Actively call to deplatform me again? No, he didn't know the movie title? Oh, he thought it was... Shut up. Shut up.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Has, adopted over the years. They're becoming increasingly critical of his position because now he's talking about it
You claimed you and Ian used Zionism as a cover to be anti-Semitic. Dude, this is literally like when people will be like,
yeah, for sure. It's fucked up how they really went down the gutter with it. Hassan Abi and H3 and the way the whole leftovers just fucking ended on October 7th after, like, it's fucking crazy how Ethan is just pretty much doesn't give a fuck about Hassan. And not that it matters, that's like a parasocial type of thing, but it's fucked up how it just went so sideways, and now they're just completely gloves off. They're going at it in their own respective creative endeavors, right? Hassan being a political streamer, H3 being H3, just a podcast, and he covers whatever like goes on YouTube and just like goofs and gaffs, but obviously he's being more serious with the whole politics stuff, so it sucks seeing it go this fucking left, right?
oh, you are secretly transphobic or some shit. It's like, dog, do you know how beneficial it is for a grifter's career to be transphobic? Right now, it's anti-Semitism is hot. Anti-Semitism is literally hotter than anti-Zionism, okay?
Yeah, for sure. And it doesn't seem like fucking Hassan Abi is a anti-Semite, but that's what they're calling him on the other side. So fuck, it's just hella messy, hella terms being thrown around, and that's kind of the politics side of like the whole beef, right? And that's pretty much why it's so fucking heated, I think, is it has like a mix of like politics. It's not just like YouTuber drama, it has like a political slant to it. But that's why it's probably getting so messy in like public perception, and why Ethan is probably getting a lot more support, rather than usually if it was just about the people, about the YouTube channels, then it would probably be a little bit more on iDubbbz and Hassan Abi. But since it's about politics, they're kind of siding with Ethan and his politics, since it's more right-leaning. So it's kind of an interesting point, and that's really what Hassan is responding to in this stream, from like the reply to the reply. We're heading like to meta levels of reaction videos. So he's already responding to the response to the content cop, and that's kind of where it is. It's like these guys, they're already responding to each other, and the conversation is like live, it's active. People are choosing what they want to believe or what they want to support, and it's pretty much, it's kind of the entertainment for right now, and it's also tied to some serious shit, right? The whole political Palestine, Israel, that's where the messy side is getting. Fuck, man.
Attempt to lecture me on this conflict. You just learned about this like...
Okay, I don't know when Ian learned about this conflict, but you still haven't learned anything about this conflict. What do you mean, how dare you attempt to lecture me? Okay, talk to someone who does know about this conflict a lot more than you, okay? For a lot longer than you have known about anything, really, because you still fucking haven't learned anything. You employ Lebanese people. Why don't you talk to them?
Like 2 weeks ago, clearly, and you're just deferring to Hassan as an expert.
If Ethan is an expert on the subject matter and he denies my knowledge on this issue, then let's talk it out. Let's fucking talk it out. Except Ethan, you're too big of a fucking coward to have that conversation because you're fucking worried. You're worried that your intellectual bankruptcy will be in full fucking display if you were to ever sit down man to man and have a conversation instead of crying behind Instagram stories that go away after 24 fucking hours. No pushback whatsoever for me. I need to stay in my fucking hug box. That's it. Yeah, wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan. This is where Hassan is taking the fucking gloves off and just going into the political ring with Ethan. And to be fair, that's who Hassan is. He's a top political streamer, and he is going to really attack all of Ethan's political points, and Ethan has always been the goofs, the gaffes, the laughs guy. So when it comes to politics, yeah, Hassan is going to be able to kind of dismantle him on a live debate. And it's kind of interesting that Ethan doesn't really give a fuck, even though he's not in a bad mental state, even though they try to create that narrative like Hassan and the whole iDubbbz content cop is that they want him to get better. Maybe that's just kind of what the packaging was to sell the narrative. But when it comes to the politics side, yeah, they're gonna have that real conversation, that real Israel Palestine, that real conversation that isn't gonna be so pretty when it's live, when he has real feedback, both of them, right? And Hassan is a strong voice on the left side of politics. People respect him. It doesn't take a micro content creator like myself to say that, because the numbers show how much people really respect Hassan for what he says, and that's why so many people also really dislike him, because he has so much support in what he has to say and what he advocates for. So that's kind of where it is that a lot of people are picking their sides, but I wonder if they're forgetting where these guys come from, right? Like H3, Goofs and Gaffs, Hassan, a political streamer who is a bit tongue-in-cheek, and he's a bit of a bro podcaster, and then iDubbbz, who's like a reformed edgelord, right? So I feel like people might be getting lost in the sauce a little bit. They take it very, very, very serious. Yes, the politics side is absolutely the serious side, but it's kind of mixed in with the whole personal side of these personalities. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. It's really interesting how active the conversation is swaying, and thank you for checking out this, the people who popped in, the people who are checking out the clips, and I think that's it for tonight. So